Hello, Mr. Whitney here again. We've got this is a three-dimensional art. If you've not done the spider web previously, it's okay. This is kind of similar lines. This really is coming through darker on my camera, but we've got these perspective lines. So what we're going to end up doing, and this is looking, if you can see, this is aiming downward, so it's almost like a pit or falling into it. There's a couple different variations of this you can end up doing. So this little spiral art. So in my sketchbook. Let me zoom it out just a little bit here for you. And we're going to be using a pencil on this lesson. And it doesn't even have, I have a pencil right here. I'll probably have to get up for one. What you're going to end up doing is you're going to cross across the page and divide it up. And it does not have to be perfect except for the middle here. It does need to line up in the middle this time. So if I goof up, notice I'm grabbing an eraser here. I'm going to make sure it lines up in the middle. That's the only rule that we have to make sure we follow, is it's got to be right through the middle. So crisscrossing, and I'm just going to divide up my page like such. And I'm crossing right through the middle and going through. And I'm going to stop right there, making sure I got all in the middle. Look at that line. Oh, of course, the last one doesn't go through. I'm just going to do a light erase on it. Totally fine. Notice you can see those lines. It's okay. We are going to be sketching over them and shading in to cover them up. Perfectly fine. So we go through. I've got my shape in here right in the middle. Then I'm going to go through, and there's a couple different ways of doing this. I'm going to draw cresting upward like a ripple. This is more of an experienced artist doing that, so don't worry about it. What I suggest you do is you just keep turning the page. I go up, then I go down. I go up, then I go down. I go up. Notice I'm lifting my pencil away from the page. Reason being, the art gets sloppy if I take and I go like this. Look at it, we don't get a good crest in there. It messes up. So pick that pencil up from the page. Slow and steady wins the race. So I'm going to go up, down, up, and notice I turn, make sure I've got the same thing. Really, my hand can sit in the same spot. You see my hand sits in the same spot, and then I'm able to do that drawing no matter how thick the area is. This comes with practice. I am an old man in comparison to you, so I've been doing this longer. Don't get discouraged if it takes you a while. Slow and steady. This is not even. It's fine. It is perfectly fine. I can tell you right now, this is hours. This is like 8 hours of work. 8 hours of art. I know at your age, goodness gracious, you get up to an hour and you think you should get an award. If it makes you feel any better, so do I, even at my old age. So then I'm going to go through. I've already placed these lines, so I've got the spacing. I'm going to go down, then I'm going to go up. The bad thing with doing like I did, I am stuck with what this slice is. You may be in the mood to end up having the lines be closer. That's totally fine. Varying it up. Own the artwork. So taking and turning my page, going through, turning my page, and going through. I'm going to pause the video momentarily. I'm going to finish drawing through and then take on to the next step. I suggest you pause, go through and draw, and then continue on the video. I've drawn in my circles. The next thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to take in this pencil, I'm wondering how much miles I'm going to get out of it, shading. And my shading is going to work from up and down into the center. This is kind of important to go through and then get it dark. And so I'm going to go all the way around here. I'll do a second one so you can see. I want you to notice that it doesn't have to be even. Look at some are thicker, some are thinner in between, but the shading becomes important. So I'm going to just shade in. I want to show you this little trick. So what I do is I shade close to the pencil lines, taking it in. Whoops, sorry here. Taking it in. So I shade close to the pencil lines, keep getting their light. Then I'm able to go quickly when I'm in the middle, and I tighten that up so I can go in any direction, and then I just tighten it up. Another trick is notice how dull my pencil is. So I take that camera catches everything in there, which is okay. We go through. The important part is getting it shaded in. I'm going to go the opposite. So I'm going to skip the middle on every other one and go the opposite of shading. So you have this weird checkerboard pattern going in. So a checkerboard again, and I'm going to keep coloring in like such. I'm going to do a few of these before I pause so you get a good idea. So again, whoops, not going to shade that one. Going to move down here. And I like to go up to the line. Let's make sure I can see it. Go up to the line here. That way it's nice and clean. And so I take and I shade by the line first. Then I can kind of that scribble in the middle like such. So and then I just take it in here. And I take it in. Another secret, if you can take, and mom and dads may not like this because you get dirty. I take my finger in and I'm blending that in here to where it fills it in. The camera catches everything. The page itself is looking more shaded in. Here's the downside. You gotta go wash your fingers. Make sure you wash your fingers, but that's another way of blending it in. My suggestion is taking the pencil, getting to the side of it, and then shading through. You're going to shade all the opposite directions. I'm going to pause the video here and I will come back. I'm very bothered at how much the camera is catching everything, honestly, and how nice it looks on the paper. I'm like, sloppy artist. Okay, so I will see you in a moment. Go ahead and pause, get those shaded in the checkerboard. As I'm shading through, I'm discovering that using the side of my pencil as much as possible is good for shading. Last thing I want to show you with this is giving it the depth, which you can see the depth, how you can see these look rounded. What comes with giving depth, and I'm just going to focus on this one, and I'm using the side of my pencil. I'm shading on one, shading close to the middle line. I'm shading over here, and this is pretty light as you can see me going through. It's barely showing up on camera. I'm going to do a little darker so it can show up on camera. So I'm getting that darkness in there where you can see it. Then I'm going to take my finger, again, that shading with my finger, I'm rubbing right along down it, and then I'm just pulling out just a little bit in there. And as you can see, there we go, I get that depth in there. My suggestion is to go through and do the shading in and then use your hand as all at once in the in-betweens. It's okay if you do not. There's where you end up getting that depth in there. Notice my finger. This is the trick. I'm taking my finger, rubbing. I'm also taking the side of my pencil for when I color. It fills it in better and more forgiving versus this. Even if you've colored in, you can take the side of the pencil and shade in, and it will cover up and make it look better. Big artist trick. Like I said, there's those of you who are going to hustle through and do this. That's okay. That is your prerogative. Meaning that is you are able to do that. You're the artist, and I get it. There's things as an artist, you got to know when to step away. What I would do and why I'm stopping this right now, I'm going to step away from this. I will come back to it probably every hour or so throughout the rest of the day if I end up finishing it and work at that. And that's why I've got the sketchbook and going through. That's a realistic with the artist. I appreciate you joining me for this art lesson and look forward to seeing what you come up with. Even if you just finish a small part of it, please share that. I love seeing the time. If you look, this looks great. This really matches what a picture is here. And I have a timer that I run on here and keeping below. I've had 8 minutes, plus there's about 8 minutes that I've not been off camera, been pausing. And so, yeah, you see the time adding up there. Thank you for joining me. And I look forward to seeing what your work turns out like. Have a great day.